One he transmigrated right into the driver's seat of bus 1520. Disoriented, heavy head, sluggish thoughts, he slowly turned around. The entire bus was packed full of his female classmates. They all majored in early childhood education at Shen Chong University. Completely stunned, counting himself and the representative, there were exactly 42 people. Suddenly, a crisp mechanical voice filled the cabin. Calling itself Tai and Dao, it welcomed them to transit survival. It displayed a list of survival rules for them to read. No voiceover was provided. It claimed they would just forget anyway. Once everyone finished reading those warning screens, he stood up. He looked around. The interior of the bus was totally bare. He spoke with the class leaders, analyzing their bizarre situation. They had clearly crossed over. According to the system, each group got one vehicle, putting all 41 girls and him together. The mechanical voice returned to declare the start of driver selection. The system gave everyone 3 seconds to cast a silent vote. 3 seconds later, he was chosen. No surprise there. The system quickly confirmed his new role and offered congratulations. He would receive special driver privileges and exclusive survival rewards. The class president cheered, glad to have him in charge. Then, another alert popped up. He unlocked the ST daily sign-in. Each day, he would automatically sign in and get choices. For day 1, his choices were 100 bottles of Yibao mineral water, or 2 20-liter barrels. He chose the bottles without any hesitation, which appeared instantly in his backpack. This inventory only had 10 slots, but each could hold up to 100 identical items, which was perfect. Right then, several female classmates started yelling out in excitement. One announced she got an S-rank talent called Divine Prompt. This allowed her to sense items, detect resources, and warn of danger. Another girl announced she had the S-rank Super Constitution talent. Her starting stats were 10 times higher than any normal human. This advantage would keep growing at an incredible 10-fold rate. Who wouldn't be completely losing their minds? Then someone noticed the game panel in their upper left vision. Clicking it opened the attribute page. He quickly opened his panel. Unlike the others, his had extra tabs for trading and bus controls. Out of curiosity, he checked the chat and looked around. Then he accessed his attribute screen and announced his talent. He claimed a rank Healing Arts, promising to treat anyone who got hurt. Tallying up, they had 3 S ranks, 1A and 2B ranks. Not bad. The class representative warned them not to lower their guard just because they had some strong skills. He didn't linger. He went back to the driver's seat. He started the bus. Outside stretched an endless, empty desert. Yellow sand was everywhere, with one straight road running ahead. The system chimed. Bus 1520 had started, and monsters would chase them in 24 hours. He quickly ran the numbers. If they drove 14 hours daily, that meant covering 280 kilometers. Since monsters cover 240 kilometers daily, they would keep a 40-kilometer lead each day. If they stayed on schedule, after about 2 hours of driving, a new system notification played in his ear. They were about to reach a station called the Peace Convenience Store. He leaned forward and asked Lin Chuan for any station information. Giving him a subtle nod, she closed her eyes and immediately began processing her talent, but when her eyes opened, pure terror was written all over them. She warned him it was highly dangerous, containing 2 deadly stagger-type zombies. Instantly, the entire bus erupted. Anxious glances and frantic whispers quickly spread throughout the vehicle. He told everyone they had absolutely no choice but to go. The supplies inside were far too critical to skip, but then Huang Ting snapped back that it was easy for him to talk, suggesting he go deal with the 2 zombies alone. She pointed out that since he was the only male on board, it was his duty to protect them. Lin Chuan cut her off, sharply asking what kind of nonsense she was spewing and if she wanted him to die. Huang Ting doubled down. arguing they could not just send frail girls to fight flesh-eaters either. He quickly stopped the argument and proposed a fair system. Those who went out first got first pick of the loot. He then asked for volunteers. 4 brave girls instantly stepped up. Li Ryo declared she was going because her S-rank talent could not go to waste, refusing to be a free rider. Liu Shaofeng and Liu Xiaoying quickly volunteered as well, alongside Lin Chuan, though he gently stopped her before she could even finish her sentence. He told her she already contributed by giving vital scout intelligence, so she could rest. Hearing this, Liu Xiaofeng's face went through a complex mix of emotions. Seeing this, 4 more girls stepped forward, bringing their vanguard to 8. He nodded in approval and led them off the vehicle. Right inside the shop, 2 ravenous zombies lunged at the team. Standing at the vanguard, Liu Xiaofeng absorbed the brutal impact of their charge, but her enhanced constitution held strong. She yelled for everyone to strike together and take down the monsters. In the frantic, bloody chaos of close-quarters combat, the group cooperated flawlessly to put both beasts down permanently. During the clash, he noticed Liu Xiaofeng had taken some severe damage. He instantly activated healing arts, sending a soothing light over her deep wounds. She stared down at her body, then up at him, her face flushing with shock and embarrassment as she realized she was completely fine. Getting back on her feet with burning red ears, she murmured that she had always wanted to confess her feelings. She quietly admitted that she liked him. Talk about terrible timing, but he gently thanked her for her unexpected confession. With the mood settled, they began looting. He headed straight to the drink section, grabbing plenty of water, soda, tea, and other essential beverages. Suddenly, he spotted a shadow creeping near the door. It was none other than Huang Ting. Trying to steal inside during their designated looting turn, he immediately called her out, reminding her that the vanguard got first pick of all the spoils. She immediately whined that plenty of items remained and made a fuss. Undeterred, he escorted her to the entrance, advising her to wait until they finished. Huang Ting could only glare at them in frustration. She glared with pure poison in her eyes, but having no choice, retreated to the bus. Grumbling, once his team finished gathering resources, Jiang Shaohan called down to the rest of the class, telling them the store was cleared and about half the supplies remained. Huang Ting came flying out immediately and rushed straight into the store. Li Ryo asked what he had taken. They compared notes. She had mostly grabbed food while he had mostly taken water. A perfect match, so they agreed to trade and share. Then Lin Chuan pointed something out to him. She had noticed the shelves and storage racks inside the store were actually upgrade materials for the bus. She suggested not leaving those behind, so they quickly grabbed them and brought them back. Boarding the bus, Jiang Shaohan asked everyone if they had enough materials. He told them he wanted to upgrade the bus, then went ahead and triggered the process. Sequence. Talk about an epic upgrade. The bus expanded with a burst of golden light. The interior grew noticeably larger. The gaps between seats widened and 2 new rows appeared at the back. The system congratulated him for upgrading the bus to level 2. He had obtained a library, a large water condenser, and the commerce module with new function unlocks. The major water problem was finally solved. The system made a global broadcast. Jiang Shaohan was the first driver in Region 6 to upgrade his bus, earning him a random skill and 5 attribute points. The new skill turned out to be something called zero function. He wasn't sure of its exact use yet, but quietly noted it down. As the sun set, the dusk announcement came. Night was falling and fog was rising. All drivers were warned to proceed with caution. Jiang Shaohan muttered about what that meant exactly, and then a zombie lurched into the headlights. He swerved. Monsters outside the windows began multiplying. They ranged from scattered stragglers to clusters of shambling bodies. He could see immediately that these were not normal zombies. They had varying quality levels, and there were many of them. The class committee member came forward and said it looked like night driving was going to be necessary. he noted that only he had full driving rights but could share temporary permissions with others. He went into the bus panel and shared driving access with Li Rao, Lin Chuan, Zhang Kk, Liu Xiaofeng, and Liu Xiaowing. The bus's durability dropped as zombies occasionally struck. The sides, the system told him he could repair it using ordinary iron nails. Wood or leather at the rate of 1 point of durability per iron nail, or wood piece or 5 pieces of leather per point. He made a mental note. Basic resources were far more critical than he had thought. He opened the chat channel to see how other buses were doing. People were posting about zombies everywhere, terrifying encounters, and dropping durability. One person mentioned an abandoned factory nearby had yielded hundreds of iron nails. He posted a note in the chat asking everyone to stop before their engines shut down at around 6:50 a.m., reminding them of the shutdown rules and how to handle it safely. Then he fell asleep in his seat. When the second day's sign-in woke him, he was given options: expand the backpack from 10 to 50 slots or take a set of Medjay biscuits, 200 pieces. He chose the backpack expansion without hesitation. 50 slots was far more valuable. At 6:50 a.m., Zhang Kk, who had been driving the overnight shift, brought the bus to a stop as instructed. The engine shutdown began. The bus interior plunged into pitch-black darkness while a bitter cold rolled in. The girls huddled close together for warmth. Li Rao called him over to join them, saying they could share body heat. Huang Ting immediately protested, saying it was strange for a guy to join them. Li Rao told her to stop being ridiculous and invited him again. He joined the huddle, which made Huang Ting stew in obvious resentment while everyone else ignored her. After 35 minutes, the shutdown finally ended. Lin Chuan reported that to their right, gas station with a convenience store sat waiting. That gas station had 4 zombies and 2 zombie dogs inside. With low difficulty, he suggested heading there for the resources. He started up the bus and they rolled forward. Arriving there, he noticed another bus already parked at the gas station, a smaller, older model, and through the windows he could see it was packed with male students. The boy driving it spotted them in the mirror, his eyes going wide. Get this, he heard the reaction from inside their bus, wild exclamations about a bus full of girls and what incredible luck. Their creepy tone made his jaw tighten. 10 minutes later, their buses reached the gas station together. Lin Chuan had scouted ahead and whispered her assessment to him. The boy at the front had a B-rank talent called Skin Hardening, while the one next to him had a B-rank talent called Skin Spikes. Both were combat types, making them highly dangerous. He thanked her and told everyone to stay alert. One of the male students stepped forward, a heavy swagger. His walk, he looked over the crowd of girls and smirked to his friend that they should teach these women a lesson. Then he glared at him and said he was the only male among them, meaning he needed to be dealt with first. His companion, a boy named Zhang Zihao, coldly ordered them to take him out and not let any of them leave. Multiple boys charged, but watch how fast they regret this. Her S-rank super constitution making her explosively fast. She kicked one of the attacking zombie dogs mid-leap, caving its skull in from the brutal impact. She then turned and swept toward the first male attacker. The boy with skin spikes tried to grab her, but she was already past him, landing a precise kick that sent him flying. Zhang Chihao tried to stand up but couldn't. Within minutes, the ringleaders were completely down. The remaining boys scrambled back from the crowd of male students. One boy stepped forward, trembling violently. He apologized to him and explained that the attackers, Zhang Chihao and Zhang Zihao, had been bullying everyone on their bus from the very beginning. He pointed out another gang member hiding in the group, Huang Jai, who had also been involved. He asked Lin Chunan to check their relationships. She confirmed only those pointed out. Individuals were connected. Everyone else was a victim. He understood and told his classmates that anyone who threatened them would face the same. The remaining male students were told they could go, but he reminded them calmly that they had been the ones who attacked first. What happened to their leaders was a direct result of their own choices. Their leader, Huang Jai, was still in the group. He sneered and said he would remember them. His classmates dragged him back. He received the exact same treatment as the others. As those boys dispersed, Huang Ting suddenly stepped forward. She pointed at the bodies and declared it was murder. She asked how the class could just stand there with killers, and Huang Ting called on the girls to leave with her. Nobody moved. Heavy silence. The air turned freezing. A classmate told her flat out that those killers had intended to slaughter them all, while the class president fought to protect everyone. She added that Huang Ting's words were deeply disappointing. Several classmates chimed in, saying she was not fit to be their classmate, let alone stay on the bus. She had been nothing but trouble from the very beginning. Huang Ting shrieked back that they only defended him because he was a guy. Li Royale glared at her. Gender had nothing to do with this. It was about basic decency. Cruel words flew until Huang Ting finally snapped and declared she was leaving. She warned them not to come crawling back. Someone answered flatly, "Nobody is going to crawl." As the class president and driver, he officially declared the expulsion of Huang Ting from bus 15,200. System confirmed. A transparent barrier materialized between her and the bus door. She was permanently unable to board again. It was a driver privilege he had hoped to never use, but she had brought this on herself. Suddenly, Liu Shaiying burst toward the door, begging her older twin to stay. He gave Shaiying 2 minutes to say goodbye. Lin Chunin went down with her. Huang Ting screamed at Lin Chunin outside, calling her a worthless nobody, then insulting the entire class, calling them disgusting murderers for siding with him. Just pure venom. Lin Chunin listened in silence. Huang Ting yelled until she was completely exhausted, then demanded to hear what Lin Chuan had to say. Lin Chuan said nothing. With a sudden, swift motion, she raised her axe and ended it. She wiped the fresh blood away, completely calm, then walked back to the bus. A dead silence fell when Lin Chuan returned alone. Someone asked what they talked about. Lin Chuan shrugged. Nothing for kids to worry about. Liu Shaiying began to cry, but the others comforted her. Later, Lin Chuan approached him, asking quietly if he was angry with her. He shook his head, already knowing exactly what went down. They both understood. Huang Ting alive was a threat that would only grow. If she gained any advantage later, she would definitely seek revenge. Lin Chunin had done what he, as class president, simply couldn't. He thanked her. Her expression softened. She said having told him meant the weight on her chest felt a bit lighter. Li Raya walked over with that familiar look he had come to recognize, a flash of jealousy seeing him with Lin Chuan. She told Lin Chuan she wasn't interrupting anything, and Lin Chuan drifted away. With a small smile, Li Raya faced him, fidgeting nervously, and confessed she liked him. He smiled, admitting he already knew. He could feel it. She asked what he thought of her. He admitted she was gorgeous, with legs so long and incredibly fair. She whispered that if he liked, she could be his, but only as the official girlfriend, or at least the main one. He teased her for making him sound like a total playboy. Li Raya caught him glancing toward Liu Shaifeng. Liu Shaiying and the others. She called him a shameless flirt, pulled him close without another word, and kissed him deeply. Liu Shaifeng, sitting in the back, watched with eyes filled with absolute, burning jealousy. She forces herself not to look away. She was waiting for the right moment to speak with him alone. Liu Shaiying leaned over and whispered to her twin that she needed to be bolder if she liked someone. Liu Shaifeng pressed her lips together but said nothing. That night he assigned driving shifts and tried to get some rest in the back. Liu Shaifeng came to tell him it was her turn to drive. He told her to watch for zombies outside. If she needed to stop, she must wake everyone first. He got up to move to her seat. Li Raya grabbed his arm and pulled him further toward the back of the bus. Liu Shaifeng gripped the steering wheel and stared at the road, quietly seething. The day 3 sign-in gave him The option of 20 random weapons, 200 magic biscuits, or even 2 cold water paint. Papers, he chose the weapons, honestly, the only real option, with 20 weapons for the whole. Choice, the system distributed them, 5 fire extinguisher clubs, 3 long. Swords, 4 staffs, 5 pens, 2 kitchen knives, and 1 wireless. Chainsaw, he held up the weapon with a raised eyebrow as Lee Ryo came over immediately and said it was amazing, asking if this was his daily sign-in reward. He confirmed it and told everyone to wake up to distribute the weapons. He took back Lee Ryo's fire axe from before to give her the chainsaw instead, then went down the rows and handed out the rest, based on each person's build and strength. Someone pointed out that zombies had appeared even during daytime. Now he agreed, and let's face it, with things getting way more dangerous, they had to be ready. Better to stay prepared. The temperature was noticeably colder, 4 degrees below yesterday's reading. It seemed too sharp to be a coincidence. He warned everyone that they would need to find warm clothing, as well as food and water going forward. Someone muttered nervously about whether a cold front was really coming. At 6:50 a.m., the bus suddenly shut down for 7 whole minutes. Lee Jian approached him during the shutdown asking to borrow water. He agreed, but told her she would need to return it. She nodded and then surprised him by apologizing, saying she had been wrong to bully Liu Xiaofeng and Liu Xiaying, promising to protect them. Now on, when they explored stations, she bowed deeply to him and then ran off. After the shutdown, he immediately opened the bus panel and saw he had collected enough materials for that large water condenser was built on the spot, combined with the smaller condenser they already had. They now had 25 liters per day. It barely covered everyone, but it was enough for now. He called everyone together to announce a new system. Message announced the next stop, Huangang Station, near Huangang Village. He asked Lin Chuan to give him the full read of the situation. She reported. Medium-low difficulty, 1 black iron mid-quality treasure chest at the station, 2 ordinary upper-quality fushi, and 1 ordinary mid-quality fushi waiting at the platform. She paused to explain what fushi were. They were a type of zombie that functioned very much like delivery workers, simply wanting to board the bus and be transported to a destination. Unlike regular zombies, they wouldn't attack unprovoked as long as they were allowed on board. Someone asked how that was different from regular zombies. Lin Chunan said the key difference was they were rideable and would grant them transit coins upon successful delivery. He said it made sense. Class rules said not to let dangerous passengers board. The question was whether these 3 fushi actually qualified as dangerous, so he proposed they trust Lin Chunan suggested letting them board, delivering them to Huangang Village for the coin reward. They could handle them afterward. A lively debate instantly broke out. Some classmates hated sharing a ride with actual rotting zombies, but the majority voted. They were moving forward, no turning back. The bus rolled into Huangang Station. The platform was barren, no shelters, no buildings. Just a lone pole and 3 ragged figures. Their rotting flesh gleamed right next to a heavy, black treasure chest. A signpost nearby pointed the way, 10 kilometers to Huangang Village. The fushi climbed aboard one by one, slow, heavy. They took their seats without a sound. Complete silence. Then the system chimed, tasking him to deliver 3 fushi to Huangang Village within 25 minutes for a reward of 2 transit coins each. He pushed the pedal down. Lin Chuan quickly warned him to take the left fork toward Huangang, stressing that the inner village was a complete death trap. He only needed the entrance, no further. As they drew closer to the gate, he slowed the bus down. A quick, silent nod passed between him and Lee Ryo. They stepped outside. The zombies rose to follow, just as 2 of them exited. They struck hard, instant, ruthless teamwork. Lee Ryo locked onto her target, while he neutralized the other. The last one fell seconds later. Easy money, 6 transit coins secured, delivery complete. A global announcement echoed across the chat, and trust me, this was huge. The first driver in Region 6 to successfully complete a passenger delivery, his reward. The model driver title and 20 attribute points, 10 went straight to Constitution, 5 into agility and 5 to stamina, a flustered Lin Chuan mentioned, suggesting that once he saved 20 transit coins, she wanted a bedroom installed inside. She mumbled that it would give him and the committee members some private space. The whole bus burst into teasing laughter. Li Rao just looked away. Clearly annoyed, he ignored the noise, kept driving, and opened the chat. To trade for vital resources, once he gathered everything he needed, he announced another major upgrade. The bus shook violently as raw energy surged through. The cabin upgraded to level 3, along with the raw power he's unlocked bonus blueprints, including a rare glory blueprint, and gained a daily nitro acceleration boost. Lin Chuan joked about that bedroom project again, reminding him to keep saving those precious transit coins. Later, Zhao Yuding approached him quietly, asking to borrow a lighter and cigarettes. He handed them over, warning her she would owe him a trade later. She nodded and slipped away. Soon, Li Rao pulled him aside, eyes filled with suspicion. He told her the truth. She relaxed but still pinched him for always talking to other girls. Then came the next broadcast, Yingsun Station. Chunin scanned. A bronze mid-rank fierce ghost was waiting right on the platform. This was no passenger, it was a predator. Its sole goal was to trick them into opening the doors so it could feed. But as long as the wheels kept rolling and the doors stayed shut, they were perfectly safe. Game rules strictly prevented the entity from ever touching a moving vehicle. He warned the class and hugged the far lane, keeping the bus as far away from that creepy platform as humanly possible. They rolled past Yingsun Station, and there it was, a giant humanoid shape looming on the platform steps, easily 3 meters tall with blood-red eyes locked onto their passing bus. Just looking at it triggered a system warning. His spirit power had dropped 20 points. He gritted his teeth, so simply staring at these monsters drained his soul. That was a lethal detail to track. Lin Chuan muttered that this station was highly rated for danger, with that monster boasting 320 constitution. Every single person on their bus combined would barely scratch a beast like that. He locked the memory away. An hour later, a different bus approached Yingsun. Soon, the regional chat channel exploded with news of what happened to them. That other driver saw the giant monster and thought it was just another paying passenger. He opened the doors, and what followed was a nightmare no one saw coming. A driver named Chen Jiangxing had just triggered the first full team wipe in Region 6. The system issued a cold reminder, letting strangers board always carries a price. Panic and grim jokes flooded the chat. He breathed a sigh of relief. Ling Xuan had warned them just in time. By nightfall, a new threat trailed them. A low-rank black iron collider zombie, boasting a solid 63 constitution. Watching it crack against the road barriers, he decided to test its limits. He gripped the wheel and accelerated his massive bus straight into the beast. The impact crushed it instantly, leaving 2 transit coins and a dark chest. But with shadows moving in the dark, retrieving that chest was suicide. Leaving the loot behind stung, especially since the ramming cost 3 durability points. As midnight approached, silence washed over the passengers as they drifted off. Then the Tiandao system chimed with a sickeningly cheerful broadcast. Congratulations to everyone, the grace period has ended, hope you enjoyed it. Angry curses flooded the chat, and honestly, can you blame them? The system shrugged off the insults and calmly dropped the 3-day death toll. Over 500 million players dead worldwide. The reality was staggering. 90,000 vehicles wiped out. Now, the system announced the first regional rankings. Rewards were split into 5 tiers. He held his breath and opened his rating. First place in Region 6, his entire class secured 15 attribute points. They also gained 10 inventory slots, but his driver rewards were far bigger. 100 bottles of Nongfu spring water, plus 3 random skill books. This massive haul left his classmates practically vibrating with raw excitement. Then the system dropped the updated rules. The atmosphere instantly turned to ice. The new terms were brutal. Buses would now shut down at random intervals. The threat was obvious. A sudden stall meant fighting on foot. Surrounded by flesh-eaters, they would have to carve a path through the dark. He stepped up to steady their nerves, urging them to keep their heads. He distributed the books, farming for Jian Keek and a shield for Lin Xuan. Luo Xiaoxu received the control skill before he set up a strict night rotation. 41 survivors split into 8 teams, mostly of 5. The last had 6, taking shifts to guard against any sudden vehicle failures. Morning arrived. On day 4, his sign-in reward offered some tempting choices. He could take 300 water bottles, 50 coins, or a stun baton. Intrigued by the black iron weapon, he searched its value in the shop and found it was worth 1,000 transit coins. He chose option 4 without hesitation. The next station was declared a special combat station, Lin Xuanen. Scouted at medium-low difficulty, Iron Puppet Guardians, at least 15 of them stood guard, the strongest being Black Iron low rank. She also mentioned raw iron stones inside, raw ore, smelting required. To become usable ingots, when he called for volunteers, 28 hands went up, more than he had expected, which pleased him. The moment they stepped off, the puppets charged. At them stiff metal bodies, clunky joints, they looked impressive with metal chassis, grinding gears, and heavy limbs, but they posed no threat at their current level. The biggest stood over 3 meters with a constitution of 195, but with everyone working together, they managed. Chen Tonger even snatched up a skill book. During the clash, Iron Puppet summon. This let her call a defender to fight by her side. She was absolutely thrilled. Luo Xiaofeng's trusty old cleaver had been shattered in the chaos, so he gave her the weapon from the chest. She said she didn't know how to repay him, but he told her to just fight well. She nodded with deep gratitude. After the battle, the group swept through the station collecting crucial resources. They found plenty of iron swords and axes, enough to arm the remaining classmates who still lacked decent weapons. He called the rest of the class down from the bus to clean out the leftovers. Lin Xuan tallied the haul. 10 raw iron stones could be smelted into 1 iron ingot. They had gathered enough raw material for roughly 800 ingots, 50 being black iron. Quality. The bus resources had never been this incredibly rich. They successfully looted 2 more stations that afternoon. He also noticed, and get this, he quickly pointed out that stations themselves seemed completely free of zombie spawns. They could stop and search without worrying about roadside ambushes. During a quick lunch, he scrolled through the public chat channels, where several survivors mentioned seeing increased station spawns. One group mentioned spotting a woman in a white dress, a zombie, huddled silently by a roadside chest, completely still and making no effort to chase. Others confirmed similar chilling encounters, and somehow that strange detail stuck in his mind. Having finally saved 20 transit coins, he spent them and installed a private bedroom in the back. Talk about perfect timing. Lin Xuanen announced it with a knowing smile, teasing that he now had private space with their committee member. The whole bus erupted in cheers and wolf whistles, while Li Raya made a point of staring out the window, pretending she heard absolutely nothing. Then he upgraded the bus to level 4. Its newly expanded frame looked almost like a small charter coach, with the system adding new custom slots. Suddenly, 2 collider zombies rushed them from both sides at once. He slammed the acceleration function and drove straight through them. The impact was incredibly jarring but completely satisfying. The mandatory 12-minute shutdown hit immediately. Everyone scrambled off, and almost the instant their feet touched the pavement, zombies swarmed from the roadside. Darkness. This fight was brutal, between his healing arts and Li Rao's raw combat power, the newly distributed weapons, and the tight coordination they had built. Over those 4 intense days they pushed through. When the dust settled the ground, was littered with bodies, and the loot drops included zombie virus serums, useful for any bite is a death sentence. The virus speeds up the horrific transformation. He distributes preventive serums as an extra layer of protection. Still, Lin Xuanen cannot divine the exact moment the zone shuts down. He warns the group to stay incredibly alert during night driving. Suddenly, the system announces they are finally approaching the Yundong service area. The rules here are incredibly generous: free fuel, free food, and endless water. Best of all, it is safe, with a maximum stay of 12 hours. The exhausted classmates desperately want to stay overnight. He plays it safe. Resting is fine, but getting too comfortable out here will get them killed. Ultimately, the vote is cast, and they pull up to the entrance. There, a man dressed in pristine white steps right out of the toll booth. He introduces himself as the manager, repeating the 12-hour limit for visitors. Smiling, the leader pulls out a pack of rare cigarettes from their supplies. Handing them over, he casually lies that the manager must have left them behind. The manager blinks in surprise before accepting the bribe with a silent nod. He immediately whispers to Lin Xuanen to help him corner this manager later on. Her unique lie-detecting talent will reveal if this creepy manager is actually telling the truth. After parking, he barks out, "Be back by 4:55 a.m., no exceptions." He quickly sets up a private group chat so everyone can stay connected. As the classmates scatter, he and Lin Xuanen go hunting for answers. They find the manager, Wang Kai, while the fierce Li Ruiyao tags along. She insisted on acting as their bodyguard, and he was glad she did. Now sitting across from them, Wang Kai calmly tells them to ask their questions. He promises honesty, so the leader asks if he is originally from Earth. Wang Kai reveals he is from another realm entirely, keeping his past secret. Curiously, he admits he used to drive a transport bus just like them. But when asked about his passengers, his expression freezes. They are all dead. Pushing past the grief, the leader asks about the real purpose of Tiando. Why was humanity dragged into this hell? Wang Kai honestly has no idea. He offers one vital rule: keep driving forward and never look back. Do not fight the monster chasing you, because killing it only brings worse. A faster, deadlier beast will simply replace the one you managed to kill. Looking out at the darkening sky, the manager warns of a changing climate. A massive, freezing blizzard is rolling in, and it might strike within days. This is not a normal storm. A blizzard here will freeze them solid. Suddenly, their phones buzz. Now here is where the real trouble starts brewing. Some scumbags from another bus are harassing Luo Xiaofeng and threatening their group. The leader does not hesitate, instantly heading toward the tense standoff outside. A pack of hostile male students has completely cornered his vulnerable classmates. Their smug leader steps forward, arrogantly claiming he just wants to be friends. But the girl wisely rejected him, refusing to even share her contact info. Amazingly, this punk expects an apology for being rejected so publicly. The leader firmly shuts him down. She has every right to say no. The punk sneers back with a foul insult, demanding he hand over his classmates. The leader coldly warns him, once they leave this safe zone, it is on. Time to see who was waiting for whom. One boy snarled that he had some nerve, as a few more stepped forward. Wang Kai's voice cut through the growing tension, reminding everyone that combat in the service area was forbidden, suggesting that the parties separate. The ringleader sneered, telling his gang to back down for now. They would finish things outside. Gu Pingsheng turned to his classmates, advising them to get some early rest. Tonight, they were probably going to face a brutal battle by morning. On his way back, he crossed paths with a driver peddling a special chest. After some quick haggling, he got it. For 10 packs of cigarettes, 10 bottles of liquor, 10 cups of instant noodles, plus some iron ingots and other supplies, the mystery chest could contain absolutely anything. Incredible weapon or some terrifying creature. The danger was real, but the massive potential payoff made it worth it. He handed it to Li Ruiyao to open tomorrow. Then they headed back to their rooms. He noticed Luo Xiaofeng watching quietly. From the end of the hallway, as he and Li Royao walked together, she said absolutely nothing. Xie Ying gently pulled her toward their own room, whispering some encouraging words. Morning came and everyone assembled at 4:55 a.m. He had Li Royao open the chest. While they were still safe inside the service area, the lid popped open, revealing a clear spirit long spear of bronze low rank. The stats confirmed it dealt insane bonus damage to ghost-type entities. This was absolutely perfect, some unknown threat was about to get hard countered. The rival mail bus rolled up shortly. Afterwards, completely blocking their exit, their spokesperson, that same arrogant punk from the night before, smirked with crossed arms, waiting for them to beg. Talk about pure arrogance. Gu Pingsheng looked around at his classmates. Luckily, Lin Chuanan had already scanned the enemy vehicle. 3 of their players possessed real talents, the strongest being a rank. One could generate food daily. Another had a B-rank stone body, and the last possessed B-rank jumping enhancement. That final skill posed the biggest threat. A high-jumping opponent combined with stone skin would be pretty tricky. He formulated a swift plan while the enemy barked his final ultimatum. The battle unfolded with insane efficiency. Li Royao led the charge, and thanks to her massive constitution, their superior gear, and the coordinated formation they had practiced, the rival group crumbled much faster than anyone expected, leaving their side completely unharmed. System alerts confirmed they had wiped out the rival bus, letting them salvage it for resources. The wreckage yielded a transit heart, a crucial, rare item needed for a level 5 upgrade. He wondered how to secure more of them, then used his control panel to scrap the vehicle for 30 extra transit coins and raw materials before they continued driving. Soon, he spotted something bizarre up ahead, a lady in a white dress crouching with her back to them, sobbing softly. The weeping cut clearly through the loud engine noise. He slowed down immediately. Lin Chuanan quickly recognized the threat. It was a weeping walker zombie, a white-silver low-rank boss with over 600 massive constitution points. It was completely passive unless provoked, meaning if anyone got too close or if they struck first, it would retaliate with catastrophic, lethal force. He carefully steered the bus as far right as possible, keeping their distance from the weeping figure. They slipped past in absolute silence. Minutes later, a smaller bus crept into their rearview mirror, following their exact route. The riders' voices leaked through the public chat channel. One of the idiot guys was laughing about the crouching woman, calling her pretty and eagerly suggesting they should go capture her, his companion apparently. He had to explain why that was a terrible idea, holding his breath as the smaller bus finally came to its senses and sped off without causing trouble. That day's daily sign-in offered him 3 rewards: 10 attribute points, 50 transit coins, or 50 black iron ingots. He chose the coins. Just then, Lin Chuan spotted something promising ahead. River West Village. It was a forced station, meaning they had no choice but to stop. Her talent warned of medium difficulty, with 10 low-rank bronze special zombies inside, specifically fat zombies. When approached, they spewed green fluid that drove nearby zombies berserk. Upon death, they exploded, scattering the highly toxic vomit everywhere. Lin Chuan added that 3 bronze mid-rank MP5 submachine guns lay inside, each loaded with 59mm rounds plus 300 spares. He stood up, telling the class this was a forced station. Everyone had to fight. A girl burst out, crying that she refused to go near the monsters. He told her coldly, any student who refused to participate in mandatory stations would have their access to the clean water and shared food completely cut off. He added that those who chose to remain deadweight would eventually be kicked off the bus entirely. That harsh reality check quickly got the hesitant passengers moving. One girl admitted she was actually losing her fear. They grabbed their weapons. Inside River West Village, those fat zombies proved to be incredibly dangerous. Every single time one died, it detonated in a toxic green spray, driving nearby zombies into a wild frenzy. Lin Chuan helped them navigate the streets, using her tracking talent, guiding them toward isolated pockets of zombies that could be easily drawn out. They used the berserk fluid tactically, pulling small groups away from each other. In the end, they cleared the village without a single casualty, securing 5 zombie frenzy blood flags and finding 3 loaded MP5 guns inside the village. Headman's house, he gave one to Lin Chuan, one to Li Royal, and kept one for himself. Lin Chuan thanked him, while Li Royal eagerly asked to try firing it. He let her but firmly warned her that bullets were not for playing around. After resting briefly in the headman's house, they cleared the rest of the village until near sunset, finally returning to their bus, with the immediate threat cleared out. He focused on upgrading his base. He had built a small melting furnace using the smelting blueprints they gathered earlier. Now, he installed both the water condenser and the furnace into the bus panel. With these, they could easily handle both clean water and iron ingot production. He also added the warehouse module, which expanded their storage space immensely. The warehouse materialized in the rear of the bus, holding hundreds of items without stealing any passenger seating. Later, the chat channel brought him news from other survivors. Some hit forced escape station and got nearly wiped out. Others ran into a special mission station requiring completion before leaving. The sheer variety of station types was wild, but hey, that's the apocalypse for you. He spent coins to upgrade the bus armor's durability before checking their remaining resources. Just then, a message arrived from a driver named Huang Tian, who introduced himself as the leader of the bus they let go earlier. His crew had looted a local department store and had tons of thick winter clothes. He offered to sell 30 sweaters, 20 jackets, and 20 padded coats, demanding rare zombie virus serums in. He locked in the trade, agreeing to supply 30 serums for the entire lot. He also traded for massive amounts of steel ingots before the bus headed on through the afternoon. By the time he checked temperatures again, the drop was undeniable. Falling 4 degrees below the previous average meant this was abnormal. He warned the class that besides food and water, they now needed coats. Lin Chuanan stared out at the cold, gray sky with a dark expression. She grimly admitted she hoped it was just a cold snap, not her worst nightmare. Temperatures plummeted, the days blurred. He spent his mornings trading aggressively, swapping iron ingots for heavy winter coats, and distributing them to classmates immediately. But the water condenser also needed freeze protection, so he quickly reinforced it with warehouse insulating materials. Over in the chat, blizzard survival talks erupted. Multiple drivers saw snow starting to fall and scrambled for gear. And believe me, they were smart to prepare early. By day 8, every classmate had a padded coat. They rolled through 2 more regular stops, clean sweeps. They scored big. A bronze chest containing arrows, a humidity bow, and 5 energy cores. He handed the bow to Xiao Fong, the shortest but most precise shooter. She accepted it with gratitude. However, he noticed John KK watching with a sad look, promising himself to find her something equal. The Day 10 sign-in offered a white silver level upgrade module, or a fail-safe bus option. He chose the module. Soon, Lin Chuanan approached on Day 10 morning with an incredibly strange report. They were nearing River Middle Station. 0 resources, extremely high difficulty, absolute danger. But there was a passenger, a ghost in crimson, a white silver peak rank. She wanted to be transported to Helen Ancient Town for a wedding. The fare was 10 to 50 transit coins based on performance. He warned everyone that this was a deadly white silver peak entity. They absolutely could not treat this casually like their encounter with Fuji. She agreed and noted the system registered her as a legitimate passenger. As long as they delivered her safely, they would survive. He held his spear, slowly opening the door at River Middle Station. His spirit power instantly plummeted. 7 points gone, and trust me, that terrifying crimson figure waiting there was unreal. Its presence washed over them like freezing water. Lu Showing lost 10 points of spirit power from just one look. The ghost approached, offering 2 pieces of candy. He accepted the strange gifts, examining them. Wedding candy, his model driver title must have impressed her, he ordered. Lu Showing to start driving, heading straight for Helen Ancient Town. The road had 2 dangerous junction points, without Lin Chuanen's divine guidance. They would have chosen wrong. Each mistake would have spelled instant doom. With her help, they navigated correctly and arrived at the ancient town. When the ghost stepped off the bus, a faint, eerie smile appeared. Unreadable, the system confirmed delivery, paying them handsomely in transit coins. His title bonus added a nice extra. Now, snow fell heavily. As they departed, Lin Chuanen warned that the legendary blizzard had arrived. He announced that they had to upgrade the bus before the blizzard worsened. With everyone pitching in resources, the bus expanded once more, reaching level 5. A new ignition system now prevented unexpected shutdowns during extreme weather. It also added 4 comfortable bedroom modules and a reinforced superstructure. The new bedrooms caused an immediate scramble, so he intervened. He explained they would rotate the 4 rooms until they could build more. Lin Chuanen teased with absolute innocence that he finally had his own private room. The whole class erupted. Outside, the snow thickened, but the bus stayed warm. Inside, most of them finally fell asleep without fear for the first time in days. The next day, his sign-in reward was a bronze-quality iron saw. He wanted a rarer item, but gear was gear. Strangely, the road was completely clear of zombies, which felt off. Lin Chuanen flagged the next station. Wanchi Station, a passenger stop. This time, the passenger was a mysterious wanderer. Lin Chuanen described them as a small but powerful faction working hard to wipe out monsters and keep players safe. Their destination was a residential complex called Guanlin Community. He noted this was different from the Fuji crisis. They needed to show this wanderer respect and genuinely help him. The wanderer boarded the bus calmly, introduced himself, and said he was heading to Guanlin Community to hunt down the night demon zombies nesting there. Since the first blood moon, he offered to help navigate any tricky junctions. Along the way, he handed over a valuable material blueprint as a gift. Talk about a great first impression. He drove straight toward Guanlin Community. The wanderer explained during the drive that these new night demon zombies had spread quickly after the blood moon. Their lowest tier was black iron, but their variety and numbers made them incredibly lethal. Lin Chuanen offered to scout ahead. She reported that multiple floors had night demons lurking, including 3 bronze peak rank monsters, and even one an unusual talent chest near the top. The wanderer confirmed that he would happily help them secure it as thanks for their help. Inside the community, the wanderer moved with highly practiced, fluid efficiency. He skewered night demons with his spear while the team supported him. They covered his flanks, easily tearing through the black iron grade targets. A bronze low-rank monster required both the spear and his healing support. Once they cleared those, they headed upstairs, where over 30 night demons suddenly swarmed them on the 5th floor. Luckily, Lin Chuanen quickly guided them into a perfect bottleneck to use their zombie frenzy fluid. It worked like a charm. However, the top floors held a breeding type and 2 commander-type night demons, all at bronze peak rank. A truly brutal fight lay ahead. The wanderer explained that this breeding type was generating every monster here. It could spawn them endlessly, which gave him a pretty wild idea. He asked Lin Chuanen if drawing the breeder into sunlight with fluid would work, and she estimated over a 50% chance of success. With more vials, those odds got even better. They set the trap. All 3 bronze peak rank targets were lured out and wiped out. The loot was massive: energy cores, rare stones, and talent fragments. The grateful wanderers thanked them warmly, admitting that without their help, never would have survived the encounter. He handed over a low-rank gold chest card, a rare item that temporarily boosts the user's luck when opening chests. He suggested using it on the talent chest upstairs for the best results. The driver used it on the talent chest, pulling 5 E-rank talent fragments, 3 C-rank fragments, 1 A-rank, and even 1 S-rank fragment. He immediately gave Lu Xiaofang the 10 A-rank fragments, saying he believed in her potential. Lu Xiaofang used all 10 fragments, triggering a system notification. She successfully unlocked the A-rank apothecary talent, enabling her to craft medical compounds at the cost of spirit power. She could even discover new recipes. By pushing her spirit power past safe limits, the driver told her the warehouse materials were completely at her disposal. Soon after, the wanderer prepared to leave, mentioning he could no longer travel by bus due to other pressing duties. With the wanderer gone, they returned to the road. Lu Xiaofang showed off her initial recipes: a zombie virus antidote, a berserker compound, and a warning that unstable, dangerous formulas could emerge if she pushed her limits too far. On day 12, the daily sign-in offered 5 options. He chose the B-rank battle talent. With the system confirming his new combat talent, several classmates joked that he would soon leave them all in the dust. He playfully warned Li Rao not to distract him while driving. Her laugh almost caused a minor accident when the bus suddenly veered. Meanwhile, the global survival counter dropped to 7.2 billion players. The dreaded blood moon was coming. The terrifying rules flashed on screen. Everyone's face turned pale. One passenger muttered that the high heavens, Tiandao, must be playing games, tossing them a small bone right before dropping a massive nightmare. But our driver kept his cool, reminding everyone that they were fully prepared. Just stay focused and fight. In the global chat, toxic players mocked their bus, wishing for their demise, though loyal supporters quickly fired back in their defense. One fan even swore to curse the haters. Then, the crimson blood moon descended. The outside world warped instantly. The undead abandoned their aimless wandering, coordinating their movements to swarm the road in massive waves. He spotted a white-silver zombie aggressively pursuing the bus and called Li Rao over. She deflected its attacks while he fired short, controlled bursts from his submachine gun. The beast took several rounds before collapsing, leaving behind a valuable white-silver chest. Seizing a brief opening, Li Rao leaped out to grab it, finding a skill book custom-made for the weapon she was wielding. She laughed, saying it was basically a personal delivery. Suddenly, zombies swarmed, attacking fiercely from all sides simultaneously. Classmates stationed at the windows unleashed their weapons and powerful ranged abilities. All the skill books they had hoarded finally showed their immense value. The driver noticed the swarm's attacks were completely chaotic, blindly pressing and clawing against the reinforced glass rather than using actual strategy. Lin Xuanan pointed out that distinct behaviors were starting to emerge among the zombies. Some were clearly smarter than others. Suddenly, a shout came from the back, warning that the bus durability was plummeting. He immediately opened the inventory and threw iron ingots down the line. Meanwhile, another driver in the chat panicked. A station during a blood moon night was something he never expected. But Lin Xuanan confirmed it was possible. Soon, another driver offered a trade. He wanted Jiang Xiaochen's iron ingots for 10 stalks of hidden corpse grass. Xiaochen agreed and immediately passed the rare herbs over to Liu Xiaofeng. She would know how to use them. As the blood moon raged, he checked the global rankings. By morning, their bus hit the top 3. Their score was nearing 11,000. He spotted top contenders, including Ping On. Nearby were rivals like Shouting Great Wall and Shenlong, but then a bus. The Statue of Liberty in 4th place just vanished from the global ranking. They were wiped out. Jiang Xiaochen immediately warned the regional chat channel. Huge groups of weeping walker zombies were blocking the roads ahead. He warned them to reroute. Then came an alert for Gaiatai killing station. It had a 1-hour limit, and Lin Xuanan assessed it as quite manageable, especially with 5 mounted machine guns they could use, though they couldn't be taken away. Still, firing them for an hour would farm massive points. Upon arrival, they saw a high platform with approach corridors. Jiang Xiaochen quickly stationed his classmates at the guns and divided the others into close combat backup teams to catch any leaks, reminding everyone to fire in short bursts so the barrels wouldn't overheat. Then someone suggested pouring their drinking water to cool the guns down. Smart thinking. For an entire hour, endless zombie waves crashed forward only to meet relentless gunfire. By the end, they had secured over 1,000 points, and absolutely no single classmate of theirs got seriously hurt. Their bus had officially taken first place globally with over 16,000 points. Xiaochen posted the massive news to motivate the other struggling drivers. With 3 hours left of the night, he asked who wanted target practice. On the stray zombies, several eager hands shot up. Soon the blood moon ended. The system broadcasted first place went to driver Jiang Xiaochen, scoring over 20,000 points. Second was Shouting Great Wall. Ping An actually took first place and everyone celebrated. The survival rewards were staggering, including 20 extra attribute points, 15 inventory slots, 20 E-rank fragments, and 10 A-rank shards. The whole squad also unlocked the rare title of Eternal Travelers, granting each classmate one-time fatal damage immunity and a personal 200% attribute growth boost for Xiaochen. Worldwide total survivors had plummeted from 7.2 billion to 3.8 billion. Nearly half of humanity was gone. He urged everyone to stay focused. Xiaochen then distributed the talent shards to whoever needed them most. Li Jian received extra shards for her hard work, while Yang Jaxin and Liu Shaoying opened theirs. Shaoying unlocked a mechanic talent. She could repair durability, modify structure, build new vehicles, and even dismantle other buses. She was already plotting uses for that last trick. Other classmates received fragments too, and Chen Tonger's rare set gave her a B-rank talent that left her wide-eyed, while Xiao Mong unlocked a C-rank self-destruct talent capable of wiping out 10 meters once, but with their Eternal Traveler's title offering a single death immunity. She could safely trigger it, no suicide required. Xiaochen assured her it was a brilliant trump card. Next up, day 14, he claimed the transit heart. With the blood moon over, the entire class had leveled up massively. He suggested building a shower room, but Xuanan disagreed, not a priority. Upgrades came first. Xiaochen respected her practical logic and immediately shelved the idea. Ahead lay their next stop, the Long Sea service area. Entry required 41 transit coins. He paid up and parked. Instantly, they spotted a fully functioning shower room. Everyone cheered, but he warned them to watch the clock. Suddenly, Xuanan tugged his sleeve quietly, pointing ahead to a crowd. Standing there was a familiar face, Teacher Jiang, their former class advisor. Accompanied by several pushy faculty members, Xuanan urged him to go see them, suggesting that if they were going to help anyone out here, it should only be her. Rounding the corner, Xiaochen found Teacher Jiang in a pretty tough spot. Her colleagues surrounded her, aggressively demanding that she message her students to extort their resources. The greedy dean was leading the charge. He shamelessly argued that since her students were thriving and well supplied, they had a moral obligation to share their hard-earned goods. Why? Because student tuition had funded the teacher's knowledge in the past. Making this a debt, Teacher Jiang looked incredibly uncomfortable. Xiaochen stepped in and greeted her. Instantly, the vultures swarmed him, trying to drag him into their absurd logical trap. The dean insisted that as the world's #1 ranked driver, his high-tier bus surely had massive surplus resources to support the very teachers who had taught him. Xiaochen kept his cool, replying that they might just share a name. They should not jump to conclusions, but another greedy teacher quickly scoffed at that. pointing out that Jiang Zaiochan was a highly unique name in Region 6. Coincidences don't exist here. Seeing him stall, the dean changed tactics. Demanding they simply merge their buses for better efficiency, Zaiochan flatly shut them down. None of these demanding faculty members had any right to his supplies, period. A merge was never going to happen. Instead, he turned and invited teacher Jiang along. The dean lost it, screaming that he was ungrateful and pathetic. He threatened his future grades, his degree, and his graduation. Hilarious. He even vowed to have him expelled the moment they returned to the real world. Zaiochan smirked, pointing out that over 60% of humanity was dead. Grades meant nothing now. The argument ended fast, with a quick tap. He used the bus panel to revoke the enemy driver's status. Hu Liming was immediately locked out, and Li Wei was auto-assigned instead. Then Liu Shaiying used her mechanic talent to strip down their bus. The faculty panicked and scattered, the quiet ones left on their own, while the loudest bullies were left completely stranded, play stupid games. Teacher Jiang boarded their vehicle empty-handed, sharing her mind control skill. She could dominate monsters and players as long as they were weaker. Then her higher constitution targets were immune. She promised to work hard on growing it. Then came day 16. Signing in rewards him with the Lumberjack Factory module first, worth 1,000 transit coins, and he grabs it instantly. Liu Xiaofeng then approaches to show him her pharmacy progress: 13 finished zombie frenzy agents and 12 hidden corpse grass plants, but she is completely out of strong acid and alcohol now. She also mentions that while pushing past safe spirit limits inside her workshop state, she actually sacrificed 150 spirit power for a brand new recipe. She warns him that dropping below 20 spirit power could make her go berserk. He tells her to stay careful, giving her total freedom with the nourishing herbs. Her current lineup includes zombie virus serum, berserker compound, and burning agents, making a pretty lethal self-made arsenal. Still, she is not optimistic, fearing a completely opposite kind of climate disaster is heading their way this time. Just like that, the system announces the next passenger stop, Rongyu Station. The upcoming passengers, parasitic ghosts that possess human bodies, but any player with over 150 spirit power is totally immune. He orders everyone to double-check their stats. Too bad several classmates fall below the mark, so he tells them they're staying on the bus. Soon, the spooky parasitic ghosts board, their eerie possessing aura shimmering quite visibly around them. Lin Xuanen and our main character handle them, clearing them out before they even step inside. The real problem is what Lin Xuanen reveals next. Rongyu Village has a huge parasitic ghost infestation that they partially caused, but she notes he can profit from it with zero risk. Chen Tonger's iron puppet being totally immune to possession makes the perfect scout. Chen Tonger agrees instantly and links up with her creation. He watches everything through their shared visual connection. Inside the quiet village, dozens of ghosts drift through houses, completely visible to the puppet but ignoring it completely since it is not alive. The puppet sweeps room by room. In one abandoned home, it spots a skill book on a table and a treasure chest nearby. As it moves closer, the most powerful ghost in the building suddenly reacts. It has possessed a human body. When Chen Tonger's puppet reaches for the book, the ghost violently smashes the puppet. Chen Tonger snaps back to reality. With a sharp gasp, he asks if she can build another puppet. She nods yes, so he checks the chat channel, asking if anyone has items to lure out fierce ghost entities. Another player offers ghost candles, which attract multiple spirit type entities. The price is 1 zombie frenzy agent per candle. He immediately trades for 4 candles. Chen Tonger sends a new puppet back in carrying one. The moment the candle is set down, every ghost in the area swarms toward it, leaving the skill book completely unguarded. The puppet snatches both the book and the chest, pulling back just as the ghost frenzy begins. Skill acquired. Soul extinction, white silver low rank. It deals massive damage to spirit entities and can target a player's spirit power directly. Learning times 2 hours with a 1-minute 30-second cooldown. He starts learning it immediately. Lin Xuanan suddenly goes deathly pale. She grabs his arm, urging him to accelerate. Something has emerged from the village and is chasing them down. It is the possessing ghost. Still controlling the human host it took over. According to Lin Xuanan, the bodies Constitution exceeds 1,000, agility 500. They have roughly 6 hours before they are caught. Teacher Jiang Nianyu says her mind control ability. It would only work for 1 or 2 seconds at most. Lin Xuanan briefed everyone on the plan. In 6 hours, he would master soul extinction. During that time, the group had to keep their distance. Once their pursuer caught up, he would unleash his soul extinction while teacher Jiang activated mind control at the same time to pin it. A sudden bus shutdown caught them mid-preparation. That meant 47 minutes of brutal exposure. With that terrifying entity hot on their heels, surviving the shutdown, everyone fought off the vicious zombies swarming them in the dark, with all injuries healed by Liu Xiaoxiao. Using her divine healing arts, when the ghost-possessed body finally caught up, he was ready. Teacher Jiang seized its mind for the critical 2-second window. In that very instant, he unleashed soul extinction at maximum output. The ghost shrieked. The body it possessed collapsed. The system chimed in. He had eliminated the area's strongest ghost entity of the Long Yao village zone, rewarding him 1,500 transit coins. Lin Xuanan then noticed a nearby treasure chest. They cracked it open to find a gold rank pistol with infinite ammunition, the yellow golden eagle handgun. Lin Xuanan stared at the magnificent handgun, keeping it before offering Yang Jackson an engraved knife that had also dropped from the chest. She accepted the weapon in sheer disbelief, stammering that she had no way to repay him. He answered that her future loyalty would be more than enough. On day 17 sign-in, he chose a special module activation card. Soon, the system announced their next stop, the Longjiang Arena station, a forced challenge stop. Tianda was forcing 2 survival buses to compete in 5 brutal one-on-one duels, best of 3 wins. 3 of the 5 fighters were randomly selected by Tiandao itself to raise the stakes. Each combatant's equipment could only be used once. The losers had to surrender or perish, he muttered. His utter disbelief. Out of 41 classmates, Tiandao's random draw chose him, Luo Xiaoxiao, and Li Jian. He urged them to relax, saying unless their opponents weren't ridiculously overpowered in base constitution, they would easily win. He then chose the remaining combatants from their side, picking himself and Li Royao. First up, Luo Xiaoxiao stepped up. The classmates pooled their gear, and Li Royao handed her gold rank handgun. Luo Xiaoxiao promised that, with her unique eternal traveler's immunity, even a worst-case disaster wouldn't kill her. Soon, their opponent's bus lined up opposite theirs, displaying a solid roster of 4 men and 1 female. Their first fighter had a B-rank shape-shifting turtle talent, meaning he could morph into a humanoid turtle armored with a hardened shell. Luo Xiaoxiao faced him on the platform. He transformed immediately, but she simply waited for his approach, raised the handgun, and fired once through his shell. He staggered. She fired twice more. The heavy shell shattered completely, sending him flying off the platform. Her classmates erupted into cheers, leaving the enemy bus dead silent. Second round, their fighter used a flash step movement skill so fast the opponent couldn't even track him. While the enemy was frantically looking around, a strike landed from behind. Their fighter even snatched his weapon away for good measure. Third fight. Teacher Jiang stepped up next. Her opponent drew a gun immediately, but she used mind control, forcing him to point the gun at his own head. He surrendered. On the spot, pale and trembling, he was incredibly lucky to just surrender. After a brief standoff following the sweep, the opposing team was bitter but honored the agreement. Lin Xuanan congratulated them on competing with honor and told. After sending them on their way, the system declared the Pinyin bus victorious, rewarding everyone with 5 constitution points and 10 spirit power. He also received 100 bronze-quality iron ingots as a personal bonus. The defeated driver sat in absolute silence for a while. Afterward, before finally starting his vehicle and leaving, he caught fragments of their conversation, with someone whispering that the fighter from their bus was definitely top tier. Soon, Lin Xuan's unique talent picked up a sudden warning at a 3-way junction. Path 1 contained a massive devouring ghost of terrifying scale. Meanwhile, Path 2 led right toward Helen Ancient Town, which the group had visited before, but something had changed. A yellow-gold low-rank female ghost named Liu Weining was waiting there, having apparently broken through to a brand-new power tier. Path 3 promised 100 ghost procession. Someone asked if she was the same wedding ghost they had delivered to the town before. Lin Xuan agreed it was her. The name on the village gate marker as they approached had actually changed to Liu Weining and Jiang Xiaowen. He stared at those names for a long time. Someone quietly suggested the wedding candy from before was actually a betrothal gift. Path 2 was picked. Better a known danger than a mysterious one. Before heading inside, he used his acquired radio gear to eavesdrop on communications coming from Helen Ancient Town. The messages he intercepted were just ghosts gossiping. Someone mentioned today was the town mistress's wedding day to a human groom. Several voices expressed interest in eating the human guests who would arrive. One voice rose above the rest, hoping to meet her intended soon. Talk about a trap. She planned to kill him herself and then refine his spirit into a ghost so they could be together forever. Lin Xuan shared this grim news with the class. Teacher Jiang immediately suggested she could use mind control on the ghost bride once they captured her. If she worked on her long enough, she might make her cooperative. For the plan, they would use a ghost binding rope to capture Liu Weining and bring her onto the bus. Then, Teacher Jiang would gradually wear down her resistance. They entered the town, carefully dodging heavy ghost presence. A bronze-tier elder blocked the path, quickly handled. Next, they gathered supplies from several buildings along the way, including another skill book and a white-silver mid-rank ghost soul technique scroll, then steadily moved toward the central hall. Liu Weining appeared at the end of a corridor, and even after seeing her before, her striking transformation was clear. She was significantly more beautiful than when she first boarded the bus, boasting a much heavier power presence. She greeted Lin Xuan with an unexpected phrase, addressing him directly as her intended, asking if he was there to play a special game. Suddenly, Li Raya appeared at his side, bluntly telling the ghost she was his woman and that she should leave. Li Raya's gaze went icy. The two exchanged heated words before instantly coming to blows. It was remarkable to watch, a white-silver human constitution holding against a yellow-gold ghost. They were actually evenly matched, proving to Lin Xuan just how powerful Li Raya had actually become. They quickly threw the ghost-binding rope around Liu Weining at the perfect moment. She struggled, then stilled. Teacher Jiang took her leash, instantly applying her mind control while the others retreating to the bus. Lin Xuan faced a half-bound, glaring Liu Weining who demanded answers. He was doing this to her. She claimed she was only trying to help, but he told her he did not need her kind of help, meaning she was staying on the bus until she came to her senses. Suddenly, a new cooperation station announced the Long Dong Cooperation Station, forcing 2 separate buses to work together in a tense 1-hour zombie slaughter. The system would allocate the horde based on bus capacity. Lin Xuan flagged their incoming partner. She was a female driver with an S rank Ice Frost Master talent. Along with her came a B rank giant and an A rank self-healing talent on her team. Lin Xuan recognized the name when it appeared, Su Maikai of the sexy cockroach bus. When the vehicle arrived, Su Maikai stepped out. She was younger than he had expected, carrying a sharp composure. She admitted she hadn't expected him to be so young. apologizing for her past rudeness in the global chat channel. He told her not to worry, while Luo Xiaoxiao added that they actually liked her straightforward energy. The cooperation challenge began. Zombies poured in from the access routes. Lin Xuan opened fire with his golden eagle. Sumaikai's ice powers froze zombies mid-charge, their shattering crunching sound becoming a deadly rhythm. Their classmates moved with seamless coordination. Forged over weeks of brutal survival, a zombie dog suddenly leaped at Yang. Jackson, she missed getting bit by inches, prompting him to yell for her to reach Luo Xiaoxiao. Then a giant yellow-gold low-rank zombie arrived, boasting 1900 constitution and 18 agility. Lin Xuan stared, a full-power shot from his golden eagle dealt less than 1% damage, so he called out its throat as the weak spot. Teacher. Jiang locked it down with mind control in brief 2-second windows, while Su Mike froze it solid. Li Ruo and Jiang Keek simultaneously smashed their wild ramming technique directly into its knees, letting multiple allies exploit every single frozen moment to land critical hits. The cycle continued: freeze, stagger, strike, until the massive giant zombie finally crumpled. Su Maikai tried to claim the final blow for the kill, but Lin Xuanan spoke up first, securing the yellow-gold chest for their side. Su Maikai laughed a moment later, admitting she totally deserved that. The system announced that Bus Pinguin took first place. The rewards were 5 Constitution, 2 Stamina, and 10 Spirit Power per person. Lin Xuan received a ghost restraint rope, while Su Maikai took second place. She remained gracious about the outcome, so Lin Xuan offered a trade. They had an ice element module card to boost ice type damage, making it a perfect fit for her talents. In exchange, she offered 40 hidden corpse grass seeds, other plant seeds, and a ticket to a special garden location filled with games and rewards. He accepted, sending the seeds to his installed lumberjack factory while tucking the special garden ticket away for later. Su Maikai asked one final question before her bus departed. Was she actually being recruited, or was that Lin Xuan's idea? He replied that it had been his own thought. She thanked him but declined, explaining she was her class's driver and would never abandon them. Still, she left the door open if anything changed. They parted on genuinely great terms. Tuning into his radio equipment later, he overheard Su Maikai's crew chatting. One of her classmates was talking trash about him, saying the guy from Bus Pinguin was nothing special and had only gotten lucky with his talent. Su Maikai cut them off sharply, declaring that he was a highly valuable ally and anyone speaking about him like that again would be kicked out. Next, he upgraded the bus to level 7 by pooling resources. The new upgrades included a zero-collision bottom function, which meant the vehicle could now plow right through ghost-type enemies without taking damage. Talk about an upgrade. The inside expanded to fit more than 100 people. Upon arriving, they used their special garden ticket. An otherworldly elderly man with calm eyes and deliberate movements welcomed them. He introduced himself as the garden master, noting it was the young man's first visit. The rule was simple: 3 games, their total wins would decide exactly how many rewards they got. He confirmed no penalty for losing, just fewer rewards. Game 1, Seed Bomb, 100. Seeds were laid out in front of them, with one explosive seed hidden inside. The players could draw as many seeds as they wanted, scoring points for each, but picking the bomb meant losing everything. Lin Xuanan stepped forward and volunteered to play the game. She began picking seeds with intense care, watching the garden master's reaction after each pick, searching his expression for any slips. The old man said flatly he would not give her any hints. After collecting 50 seeds, she paused. The garden master then offered bigger bonuses for more risks, offering 2 points each with 50 left, then 20 points each with 30 remaining. Lin Xuanan pushed on calmly, with 15 seeds left. The danger spiked. He offered 100 points per seed, but she declined. A 1 in 15 chance was not worth risking it all. He then offered 300 points with only 2 left. a 50-50 shot for huge points. Against losing everything, talk about tension, the class was split, half wanting her to stop, half wanting her to keep going. Lin Xuanan hesitated for a second, then drew another, safe. He tempted her with 500 points for the final seed, but Lin Xuanan declined. She walked away with 1,300 points. Everyone let out a massive sigh of relief. Game 2. Monster vs. Zombie. The Garden Master allowed them to purchase monster units to fight off waves of incoming zombies. They bought and placed their defenses strategically throughout 10 minutes of intense combat. Ultimately, their score ended up way higher than the Garden Master expected. Looking slightly surprised, he promised the payout would match it. Game 3, Cruel Choice. The system laid out the rules. Starting with 10 points, all 42 people got 5 extra if they sacrificed someone. To boost the others, he looked right at the Garden Master and said they would not be playing. The old man seemed neither surprised nor displeased. He shrugged it off philosophically, explaining he was just the host, and Tiandao designed these trials, not him. The lead character nodded, saying he understood his role was just to watch the show. Since they won both games they played, he asked for their prizes. The Garden Master checked his ledger and handed over a massive payout: weapons, skill books, building supplies, and stat boosters, enough to make them feel rich. He invited them to stay and rest, but they politely declined, needing to push forward. Soon, Lin Xuanan flagged another threat as they neared the 50-kilometer mark. A burning corpse ghost, a mid-rank yellow-gold monster, was blocking the road ahead. Its main ability could force the bus to stall, trapping everyone inside. The difficulty was medium, but the rewards were incredible. He decided they should fight rather than run, since the beast would just keep pursuing them. Teacher Jiang agreed with his plan. Teacher Jiang warned that her mind control wouldn't last long against such a massive power gap, but she could still buy them a quick window. They stopped the bus at the ghost's location, and the burning corpse ghost materialized, burning in silent fire. It stared at them with hollow eyes. He raised his golden eagle weapon while Teacher Jiang sent a pulse of mind control, just 1 second, maybe 2. He fired soul extinction the very instant. The ghost staggered. In a sudden cascade of light, the creature completely shattered. The system confirmed the burning corpse ghost's death, rewarding 2 constitution, 2 spirit power, 2 stamina, and 10 spirit power for everyone on the bus. A new title unlocked: Ghost Barrier Breaker. His constitution was now 544. Agility 279, Spirit near 2300, 5 skills and 4 titles. Lin Xuan stepped up close to him, pointing at something near the ghost's ash-like remains. He walked over to find a folded letter lying on the ground. He opened it, and the very first line stopped him cold. The letter was a dark record of the ghost's last coherent thoughts before the transformation finished, describing how it was once a living human, just a normal player like them. It detailed the slow, painful fading of memories, the way their humanity slowly dissolved until dark instincts completely took over. The last 2 lines revealed pure, violent reflex, an urge to burn and spread its curse to others. The letter wasn't written by hand, appearing spontaneously at death as a sad residue of what was once a living soul. He stood there, staring at the paper for a long moment. He shared the contents with Lin Xuan, and she fell completely silent. They had been slaying these entities since the start, never realizing that ghosts could have been human once, still holding onto fragile fragments of their former selves. He folded the letter up, keeping it safe. When they returned to the bus, Teacher Jiang was waiting at the door. She whispered that there was something he needed to know. Liu Wenjiang had cooperated fully since last night and requested to speak with him. She was sitting quietly in her corner when he stepped inside. She looked up, and for the very first time since they captured her, her face showed absolutely no sign of combativeness. She softly admitted she would stop trying to force him to join her faction. He sat down opposite her, saying that was good, then asked what she planned to do next. She replied that she would stay with their group for a while. She couldn't undo her past actions, but she could choose how to use her powers now. Then she held out her hand, revealing a beautiful bracelet. Crafted from translucent jade-like stone, with a strange light pulsing slowly through it. She offered it to him, and when he questioned what it did, she explained that once worn, his spirit power would be permanently locked and capped at its absolute maximum. Meanwhile, his other stats would double daily without limits. Talk about broken. He stared at the mysterious item, then back up at her face. He asked why she was giving him such a powerful gift. She replied that since she couldn't have him, she wanted to ensure he survived the coming dangers. He accepted the bracelet and slipped it on. The moment it clicked onto his wrist, the surrounding world shifted. A faint hum vibrated deep within his spirit power, and a bright light erupted in his system panel. Outside, a soft and steady rain began to fall, the very first rain they had heard since entering this world. The girls sitting near the windows fell silent, watching the water streak down the glass. He sat in the driver's seat, staring out at the open highway. It still stretched straight ahead, leading them somewhere, and they were still moving forward.